because this is the Sunsplash Mix Show, and I am joined by two men. And I gotta say, because they are men's men, they're man's mans, they're elders, if you want to talk about it, as promoters, but not just street promoters, event promoters. Let me try to go back from the beginning. Right here, we have Otis and we have True, and they've built brands and events that have locked down this state of Georgia, the city of Atlanta, but really the Southeast for how long? 30 years, maybe? So let me let them introduce themselves. Otis, where did you start? And the same thing, Krushmore. Where did you guys start? As just the street promoters passing out flyers, or?
I think my roots would start in college. But if you go honestly, here's the truth. My father's a preacher. I went to church every Sunday. We had a lot of church events, and if anything started anywhere, it started there. We would have to go and set up tables for events at the church. We would sell popcorn at the church, hot dogs at the church. So interacting with people came early in my years. When I got in college, it seemed like automatically I was just pegged and pushed up as a leader. And I'm talking about at RIT, not at Southern Tech. So at RIT, a group of us started what was called a Caribbean Students Association up there. And we would do little things. That's back when I first started to be a DJ. And I didn't DJ. The guys, we would play music and we would change the mixtape. As I was DJing back then.
Mixtape DJ.
Yeah, a mixtape DJ. Yo, that mixtape now I play good, man. Now I play good. You have to get a better mixtape in there. And that's really where it started. Then we started doing events, and then I became an alpha, right? And when I became an alpha, then I got a little brand on my arm. It became bigger. Let's keep it fast forward. Bam, bam, bam. Came down in Georgia, and I met Otis. And from there, we started the station thing, the Black Student Association, the step shows. We saw real opportunity there because we started making some real the money on campus, real money. I'm talking about it was surprisingly a lot of money, and I was like, yo, you could make a living doing this, you know.
I started off in Brooklyn as trying to be a DJ, buying up records. And as True said, we both kind of landed in Atlanta the same time, like at the peak of Freaknik, and we started doing stuff together on campus. You know, we started our own Black Student Association, and we started throwing Caribbean parties and step shows on campus. And nobody wasn't ready for that in Marietta, Kennesaw, Georgia, Cobb County. They wasn't ready for that. And we just started doing stuff there. And from there, you know, we started meeting people like you guys, Changes, Ja Prince, Walshy. You know, we just started meeting people and started doing more and more events. But that's where it started for us, was on campus in college. And that's where we learned our techniques, just networking on campus. We started taking things to the next level, learning technology, learning the internet. When we started coming out of school was when we started buying up websites. And we had no clue the amount of power that we were buying at the time. You buy a website named for $10, $15. We had no clue. We started off Peach Carnival, Caribbean Vibes. We were just putting together names that made sense, right? Because, you know, you've been here long enough. The nickname for Atlanta Carnival back then was Peach Carnival. So we bought the website. Simple. Nobody had the website. So we bought the website, $10. And everybody across the globe started emailing us for info. What do you know? You turn around, you got 1,000 email addresses.
And we're talking about as what they're not cold email. These are real people who are already interested in the culture.
So as True was saying, we started building databases because now we have names, we have email addresses, phone numbers, and people were just emailing us, asking for info. True was more of the computer guy. So he, as we built these websites, and we started putting up, we started doing RSVPs. Nobody wasn't doing RSVPs back then. We could pull out the list and you will see like 10 promoters nowadays who are RSVPing to our list back then. They were learning from what we were doing.
That's right. In real time,
right? So we started building these databases and we started getting everybody's name, phone number, et cetera, and things just grew from there. Doing events around Atlanta. And I guess to fast forward things, we've done everything from Beanie Man, Bounty Killer, Stone Love, Bass Odyssey, Black Chinese, Massive B, Elephant Man, Assassin, Wayne Wonder.
Listen, you ain't touched soca yet,
We ain't even touched the soca side yet, because then you got Bungie Garland, you got Fan Lyons, you got Destra, you got Allison Hines, you got everything. And then as we started growing, True started doing the carnival. He got deeply involved.
Things started to move, not just because you guys were young and you were interested in the culture, but you were doing the right steps. Because like you said, no one was thinking the website. No one was thinking database. And like you said, if True was into data mining, explain that again for our audience right here. What were you doing before people knew it was a thing?
I was building a database of interested individuals who were interested in a particular area. I thought it was a group of people out there that wanted to have Caribbean themes and could not be reached, not as readily as you would like. You had to depend on flyers. You had to depend on a radio or broadcast. You had to depend on a friend. Can I phone a friend? And if you get the right person, that person would turn into 5 people, 10 people. But if you had them, they would all instantaneously get that information from you. And now it's even more instant. Now, although Instagram is cool, that phone text message is still the most powerful medium we have to date. Unless they put an implant in your brain, there's nothing more instant than that phone text.
I got a Prince story. Watch this story, True. Back when I was doing Sundays.
Is this Ja Prince or Brookfinger?
This is Ja Prince.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
This is Ja Prince. To show you what we was doing with the texts and stuff, before everybody was doing it. You recall, Prince, there was a time when I was doing the Sunday night and I text out. What I was doing was I would send to 100 people and I would have the inner circle connected to that event also text out to 100 people.
All right.
So by the end of the day or in an hour span, we was texting out to 1,000 people, right? I remember texting, and once you called me after a text and you said, why didn't I get the text?
Like why I'm not in the loops, huh?
Why you didn't get the text? You said everybody in that room got the text. You always text me, but you didn't text me this one time. And I was like, for real, man? And you was like, yeah, man, everybody in this room got the text for the party but me.
Seriously.
And you was like, you always text me every week. Why, and that's how we started to understand the power of texting. So then, as True does, he started putting it, there's companies that do this. Let's have those companies do it instead of us texting it from our phone. And just taking it to a more corporate, more professional level. Like, you know, we was sending emails from our email address. So now there's companies, Constant Contact, MailChimp, that does this. So we started taking what we were collecting, emails and phone numbers as databases, and going to these companies and started sending it out. And again, this is before most 90% of Atlanta or the world started doing this. We was doing this. We was buying websites from 94, 95. We were buying websites. We got websites that's teenagers, that's 21 and can drink. Right? We got websites that's 21 and can drink, you know, so we was doing this before everybody else. And I think once we really understood how to take those databases and make them work for events and started seeing the results, then we just kept going with it, you know.
I like it. I like it. Let me ask True real quickly. We're not gonna we're not gonna really challenge whether the paper flyer was effective or is still effective. But talk to me about talk to me about the paper printed flyer, because it used to start a conversation. Just giving out the flyer, you started talking to thousands of people every week.
Well, if you remember, I gained a reputation as being a twin. People thought there was two of me because I would be at every club all the time, at every door, and you would leave the club, leave me there, and get to the next club, and I was there at the door before you got to the door. Like, how the hell did he get there? It was a way of life. So you knew this. We are engineers, and we always knew that the numbers game was very important. Although you had people you were in contact with, you couldn't get complacent and say, okay, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. If I just send this text out, I'm good. It eventually got more and more they're powerful because the individual, and then it became that you knew it was stickier if you gave them a flyer, and then they got the text, right? They had the flyer, they got the text, but the flyer had more information, more of the content. The text was just a short blurb, right? But the flyer had all the content, and they people, trust me, I've been to enough people's these girls' rooms or apartments. I would go there and I would see a stack of flyers. They get the text that said, Black Chinese, Massive B. Well, hold on, I got that flyer somewhere. They have a room full of flyers, and they go through the flyers that they got out their car. They got duplicates because they've been out so much. And then they look for the flyer and they're, oh yeah, this one. Okay. Shit, that's gonna be big. It's a reminder. So, you know, that's the flyer game. At one point, the flyer game had evolved for me to a flyer and a VIP pass. So I would print the flyer and put the flyers on the cars, and then we'll go to the front door and hand out the VIP cards at the front door. Sometimes we look down and we're like, okay, numbers are down. We need to get back on the street, get back on the grind, and put these flyers back on the road, because there's the storefronts right now in a pandemic. The storefronts are not as available as they used to be, and then people are wiping down all the countertops. So they're not letting the paper sit there for a long time. They're gonna wipe that down at the end of the day. So you're flying up in the trash just that much faster.
Yeah.
You know, but post-pandemic, we will be back out there with some flyers and you hitting the streets hard again.
I like it.
If the flyer game, to answer that question, it was an integral part of the game and continues to be an integral part of the game.
I like that. The same way Otis, picking back up right off of those flyer games. There was a time, like you said, the amount of information we put on it, the right photographs that we use, and then the size of the flyers started to get, I think, out of hand. So what do you remember about the flyer game?
Mark Stewart is the godfather. Mark Fashion is the godfather. When he came out with a full size flyer, I'm trying to get in the video, full size flyer, you know, no one was expecting that. Mark changed everything for us because everybody was doing small, cute little pocket flyers, like True said. And then Mark came with the full size flyer, and everybody was like, "Whoa, you're really sending a message."
Yeah, it covered everybody else's flyer on the car. So he would just come and he would just put his flyer over all the other flyers.
Yes,
it's like look what I got.
Yeah, Yeah. So once Mark did that, everybody kind of picked up on that. And if you had the budget for it and it was really a big event, then you went with a full size big flyer, you know.
Flyer.
Yeah, I like it. I remember the same thing. And let's talk about the graphics the same way. You guys have been very consistent with some colors on certain events. And obviously Atlanta turned into the black and white and the all whites and the green and yellow and the all colors affairs. Let's talk about you being consistent with your event, being consistent with the promotion, the website. Maybe people be like, yeah, the website is the same, but it's very effective because everything is still there. So
yeah, but True's the master of this consistency, right? Consistency builds crowds, right? That's what True mastered. And when you look at it, the brand names, as you know, True said earlier, we don't throw parties, we build brands. So like True has a new spot, Flex Lounge, right? And one of the events he's doing is the Saturday night Mingles. Mingles was a brand with a Z. Mingles with a Z was like one of the first events we did 15, 20 years ago. We were doing, you know, upscale parties downtown Atlanta called Mingles. So he's bringing back that vibe by using that name, because we don't throw parties, we build brands. Mingles was one of our first brands, and he's reintroducing it to the Atlanta market, right? So that's where we go. We got Juve Memorial Weekend or / Atlanta Carnival Weekend, right? Everybody knows the word Juve. Everyone does a Juve. Everyone does a different Juve. But we're on year 17, right? We're on
hold
year
on.
17.
Let that breathe. Let that breathe.
Let that breathe.
Year 17.
We're on year 17. That means almost legal, right? Almost could drink. So we got events that we built into brands, and we
I'm glad
just
you brought up this, because the Mingles was a Juve. The very first Juve was Mingles.
Was a Mingles.
So
was
we did a special event at Mingles called the Juve, the very first one at Island Breeze.
Right.
And that's when we realized this isn't going to be a problem.
Right.
Okay, there's a lady who comes to the parties who becomes since Island Breeze days, Imogen.
Yeah.
Imogen is on the list. Imogen, if you're out there, okay, what's up? How you doing? She's from either Grenada.
Thank you.
Or in St. Vincent. And she comes out every year from that year, Island Breeze. And after that, the year after that, we went down to what's now known as Cosmopolitan.
Right.
And we were on the small side. And we did like 1,700 people with Massive B and Black Chinese. And you really...
And Tony Temple was the one soca DJ we had.
He was the best and the only.
And the only soca DJ we had that year.
It was crazy. I'm telling you. We did not expect that. But we were still doing, before we knew the value of what we were doing, we were still doing 3 before 12.
Yeah. And being consistent with it, not trying to keep people at all.
Not trying to kill people. Now these guys now talking about like $40 early bird special.
With nobody on the flyer.
With nobody on the flyer. We had big names, and we was doing 3 before 12, and the line was around the corner, and we did about 1,700 people at night. And still, we young boys, like, oh, we're killing it, just trying to build a brand. Not necessarily because Otis is an engineer, I'm a programmer. So we had jobs. It wasn't like we was out here trying to make a living doing this thing. It was really just fun. And the whole crew had jobs. So this thing was really just a hobby, and the hobby took off.
That's what I like to hear right now. This is only the first TruVersation with True and Otis, and we're talking about reggae in Atlanta. And we know that reggae is the biggest thing that they are using to blanket what this Caribbean vibes actually is. And you guys are the originator of the Caribbean vibes actually in the city. So this is only the first TruVersation.
We on the website.
We'll put that on the website, right? No doubt. So we're going to definitely talk back to you guys about venues. We're going to talk about that networking and that partnerships with, I guess, companies, brands, our Caribbean businesses, the relationships, like you mentioned. Black Chinese don't really want to go nowhere else. Master B, Bobby Condas kind of don't want to go anywhere else. So when we get back to part 2 and part 3 of these TruVersations, we're going to get a little bit deeper into how did you guys really build that partnership, that network, and that business, and some of these brands. So we're going to say, Otis, I know you got some semi-specific things, and then Tru, you got some semi-specific things that are launching right now, 2021, like you said, post-pandemic. So Otis, where do they find you, and what do you got coming up?
Right now, I'm just focused on what we'll call Memorial Weekend, right? Because it's not really carnival, but we're still doing the events. Atlanta's still turning out. So we have the flag party the Thursday for Memorial Weekend, and we have the Juve for Memorial Weekend. And with both events, what we're doing is reggae soca, right? So we still doing what we mastered over the years, is putting reggae in one room and putting soca in one room, and then having the right blend of artists, DJs, sounds to go for the event. So they could see those events and know that we put those events together.
I appreciate it. I like it. Same thing, Tru. Like you said, besides the day job, there's more things that you got going on. How do they find you, and what do you got going on?
Well, the biggest thing I got going on, as you know, is I got involved in a restaurant. So about 11 years ago, I got introduced to a restaurant, Auburn Avenue, and I chose the name as Mangoes. And now we're looking at 3, and we're trying to get our 4th. So Mangoes Caribbean Restaurant. It's something for that a grown man does. You know, I my father used to say, because he's from the church era. When we were kids, we did things that kids do, and then when we were men, we do the things that men do. So you can't be in the party vibe forever. Otis and I, we both are up on the same type of level. That we are in the position where we are transitioning from being assets to becoming an asset, from being an asset to becoming the one who holds assets. So asset holders. So a building, a business, things that are real, that are tangible, things you can feel. Those are the things that men do, that we are moving into. And of course, going into where, every day type of way you are a mentor to the youths that are on the way up. I try to teach as much as possible. Sometimes it's tough love, That's not what you do. That's not how you do it. I'm about to put you on the bench till you try to figure this out. But these young boys, they $8 because we in the era that they feel like they're owed something, okay? And just by them showing up is enough. Okay, I'm here now, so go ahead and pay me. I've been in the building for 5 hours, so you owe me 5 hours worth of pay. What have you done? We eat liquor, live long, Eat liquor, live long. Yeah, you've heard that before, Prince.
Yeah.
Eat liquor, live long. We still here.
And we're not talking about the belly, because as grown men, that's something that we are working on right now. So
I eat as little as I can, bro. I try.
So salute to everybody right here. Sunsplash, the Big Show, TruVersation #1 with Tru and Otis from the Krushmore, the Mingles, the Juve, the Flex, and much more. Thank you, brothers, and we will be in touch.
Okay.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you for reaching out.